Hi, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my weekly photo chats. So today I want to talk about a kind of camera that some of you have written about and talked to me about and I like and I want to use more. And I haven't used them as much as I would like to say that I have. And they're the 6x6 folder. This is a little Ansco SpeedX Special R, and it's got an 85 millimeter f4.5 lens. The idea of these cameras is people wanted to carry a big negative. They didn't trust 35 millimeter back in the day. And it was a way to have a camera in your pocket that could shoot a 6x6 negative. And this is a German-made AGFA camera, so you know the lens is going to be somewhat quality. There's something to be said about lenses, and like people will be like, oh, is it as sharp as a new Sony lens? Probably not. Everything isn't about sharpness with an old film camera. In fact, maybe that's the last thing you want. If it starts to look like digital, what's the point of shooting film? I've read that Sally Mann, who's a wonderful photographer working in 8x10 film and also doing wet plate work, she talks about how she buys film and lenses, not film, lenses from the late 1800s, early 1900s. She's looking for lenses with fungus in them. She's looking for lenses with some kind of degradation. She's not looking for perfection. She's looking for something she can create art with, and it will give her something that her other lenses don't give them. That's the kind of thing you can do with a folder. Use the lens for what it is. It might be a softer contrast. So embrace that. Shoot that when you want to go shoot in bright light and you want to have a softer contrast and you want to make portraits of somebody. Use a camera that's got a lens that's good for a softer contrast. So I haven't used that much. This one is the one that I bought at a camera show. This is a Fujiika Super Fujica-6. This to me is like a Mamiya 6. Look at that. It's got a 75 millimeter 3.5 coated lens. This is like perfectly ready to go. I just don't reach for it enough. And I think that this is probably a more modern lens, so it's going to have a little bit more contrast, and it may look like a Rolleiflex. It's got this silly Nikon strap on it, which I don't like labeled straps. But the idea of having a small 6x6 folder, what I'll probably do is I'll take the strap off and then again put this in my coat pocket without a strap. Because this isn't the kind of camera that I use over a shoulder. This isn't a shoulder camera. This is a pocket camera. That's really what these are. These are pocket cameras. These are the kind of cameras you take so that you can stick them in your pocket and you don't have to think about them. And that's what they're best for. If you're looking for one, if you find one that is at a store somewhere or online that has two windows, those are rangefinder windows. That means it's got some kind of a focus aid. This one has two windows. It's got some kind of a focus aid. You'll sometimes see them with just one window in the center. That's just a glass viewfinder. It just goes straight through from front to back and lets you see some semblance of what you're going to get, but it's not a focus aid. Those cameras work on guess exposure. Well, I think you're about 6 feet away. I'll put the lens on 6 feet and let's take a shot. Most of these cameras, you have to set the shutter separately and then make the exposure. They're not the fastest cameras. It's not about speed. These cameras are about having a 6x6 black and white or color negative in your pocket. I can't fit a Rolleiflex in my pocket, and there are places that I'll go that I don't bring the Rolleiflex because I don't want to carry it. And this takes away that need to have to have a case. In fact, if I'm taking a Leica, this might be the other thing to put in my coat pocket so that I have something larger. As good as a Leica is, it will never rival a Rolleiflex simply because of film size. So I recommend this one because I like the way this one feels. This one feels good in my hand. This one has another feature that is really good for people like me who are left-eyed. It's got a viewfinder that's out on the left side of the frame. on the top of the body. So I can actually keep this eye open and see things. If somebody were going to crash into me, I would at least be able to watch for that. Most cameras put the viewfinder off to the left, and when I hold it up, it blocks this eye altogether, so I can't really use both eyes. But the Fujiika-6 is a little bit of a treat for the left-eyed photographer. But all of these cameras are good, pretty inexpensive. This was $100 at a camera show a few years ago, and like I said, I wish I'd used it more. There are a few frames on it because I know I took it to an ASMP meeting. I took some photos of some of my photographer friends, but it's just not finished. This one hasn't had film in it at all, and I need to shoot it. But this one I think I picked up. There was a woman selling some cameras up the street from me, and I think this one was like all of $5. So these aren't necessarily expensive, but they can have really good quality lenses. Look for the made in German ones. Look for the later model ones like this is Japanese. And you can find some deals and end up with a folding camera you can fit in your pocket. I know some of the viewers are going to put their favorites in the comments, and I welcome that. I know there's a Super Iconta and several German cameras that were like the cream of the crop for folders. Put those in the comments below. Which are your favorite? I think some of the Voigtlanders, the Bessas, they're all good cameras, but everybody will have different experiences. If you have some, put those in the comments so we can all look and see which are your favorites. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon, or just go to supportkenneth.com. That'll get you a bunch of links, and I'll be back next week. We'll talk photography. As always, here's the good light.